Hey everybody, I'm John Finn. Unboxing and review time, He-Man 40th Anniversary Edition. Oh my gosh, okay, let's not waste too much time on this. Let's take a quick look at the back art. It's pretty, it's cool, it's simple. It does the job. It doesn't do as much for me as the Origins art does, but it's still pretty damn epic. And the people behind this need to be praised for what they're doing because it's fucking awesome. But let's get this guy out. Let's get this big-titted man out of his package here. Dang. Using some sticky-ass tape, y'all. I do like how the Masterverse figures, though, you can just open them at the top and pull it out. It's not as exciting of an opening experience, but it does help with keeping everything spick and span. We're going to go ahead and throw that Carnage out. I might use this for his pictures. I'm not sure, because I do love that red meteor burst. It really does tickle those, what do you call them, nostalgia bones in me. This guy looks like he comes with a version of the Power Sword that came with the Viking He-Man. Oh, it's got a little bit of a bend in there, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out. I'm going to put that aside for now. He's got two extra hand sculpts, one with the open hand and one with the fist. We'll pop those out as well. Put those aside. He is held in with plastic ties, and it looks like some of his accessories are held in with rubber bands, so you can see the plastic ties here on his feet and his wrists, and you can see a rubber band here across the shield. Oh, and it looks like there's another plastic tie at his elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of his package, and then we will take a closer look at him before jumping over to the light box for some final thoughts. All right, we've got Mr. Man out of his box here, and I've got some thoughts about him. The paint is an interesting thing that's going on here. It's got kind of a in and out look to it, like it's not evenly applied, which is kind of cool. It gives him kind of this dirty look and stuff. I like it a lot better than the early shots of it where he had just this brown wash all over him except for his face, so it looked like he'd been out playing in the dirt all day, came in and washed his face off real good before getting into the packaging. Everything from the waist down is pretty standard He-Man. He's got the boots with the fur on them. He's got the loincloth with the fur. He's got the bracer, which... a lot of the He-Man, this is a little bit different from the ones that we've seen in the Masterverse line so far, both in terms of color and design, but it's the same basic thing. He has, of course, the little cuff here on this side, and he's got some of the biggest pecs I've ever seen on a figure. I know a lot of people didn't like the original release look at him because of that. He had the OG chest from the Masterverse series, and a lot of people didn't like that, but they gave him this huge old man boobies. Here is the shield. I like the design of the shield a little bit more than the previous ones. Will it fit on without me? I think the easiest way to do this, I'm going to take his hand off. And we're going to go ahead and put his hand on the handle here. There we go. And we'll just line it up like that. And then we will take his arm. I think you can leave this bracer on. Let's see. Yeah, you can leave that bracer on. It just barely fits. So now he's got his shield. And now let's give him his battle axe here, which is amazing. This looks just like the vintage one. I really like that they added the extra detail there. And then we will take the Sword of Power and we will insert it into his back. And it is kind of a crooked one, so it does fit across his back like it would have in the OG cartoon series. And there is He-Man in all of his fucking glory. Let's take a look real quick, just because I'm curious, y'all. I want to see what this chest looks like without the armor on it. Does it come off? Yeah, oh yeah, it comes off super easy. Super easy. We'll have to take this shield off of him real quick. Okay. And then we will just slide this armor off. Woo! Look at He-Man getting all naked. And, ho. Dang, He-Man. I don't know how I feel about that. It's cool. It doesn't have nipples, which is kind of strange. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, I love the figure. I love the overall aesthetic of it. I love the design of it. The head sculpt is second to none. But I'm not sure how I feel about this chest. I'm just not sure. Looks really cool with the armor on. I don't know. It kind of looks like a really beefy butt. Like imagine just this, and it's just a beefy butt. Sorry if I ruined this for anybody, but the figure is overall pretty cool. He has the Masterverse articulation. His right shoulder was a little bit stiff at first, but it has loosened up. He can rotate, he can bend, he can do all of the fun stuff that the rest of the series can do without much of a problem. The articulation issues seem to have been mostly fixed with the Masterverse line after the first couple of waves came out. So he looks really cool. But I'm going to get him put it back together. We're going to get him set up in the light box over there and get our final thoughts in, and then we will call it a day. Now that I've gotten Mr. Man in some better light, I can see that the loincloth and the boots do have a black wash on them, it seems. So they do have a little bit more detail than the traditional He-Man release from the Masterverse line. Looks like there might be a little bit of a dark wash in his hair as well. But it's a cool figure. It's a big old beefy boy. He's taller than all the figures I've gotten for Christmas this year. And it's got some solid accessories that really call back to the old vintage version of the accessories. The axe looks more in line with the vintage version than even the Origins version does. The sword, same thing. The shield is a little bit more squared off like the original one was, where the ones we've been getting have been more Captain America-like. This one has a little bit of an edge to it, a little bit of a flat edge, I should say, which kind of puts it a little bit more in line with the original vintage release. I'm glad he doesn't look like he's been rolling in the dirt as much. There is still a brown wash on him, but the way it's applied is a lot better than the original prototype images look, because it doesn't look like he has a freshly cleaned face compared to the rest of his body, which I think is a good thing, because that was very distracting in those early photos. He poses fine. He was a little bit stiff in the shoulder when I first got him out of the package, but after that, it was perfectly fine. Everything moves around fine. The hands come out of the joints easily and freely. I haven't tried to switch his head out yet, but from everything I've seen of this figure, it's going to behave like all the other figures, so that shouldn't be that hard to do. And the cool head sculpt looking like the original He-Man figure is a nice little touch as well. I think it might have been cool if we got a slightly different power sword than the one that came with Viking He-Man, but that's really nitpicking at this point. This is a really great figure that pays homage to the original, as well as bringing it into the modern day with the modern line of the Masterverse, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of this kind of stuff in the years to come from this line. We just have to hope that it keeps going. And I hope you keep collecting the way you like to collect, whether that's keeping your figures mock, whether that's opening them for display, whether that's opening them for play. However you like to do it is the right way to do it, and just don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. It's not worth having those kinds of people in your life. Until next time, I'm John Finn, and I'm out.